Autoblogging AI Brand Voice feature. Today I'm joined with the founder of Autoblogging, Vaibhav Sharda. And obviously you've been working very hard in the background with regards to implementing this brand kind of feature that's now being used within for writing all different types of articles. So my first question to you, Vaibhav, is why did you decide to create this brand feature within Autoblogging AI?
Um, there were multiple reasons. So first of all, like it was very hard for someone with no SEO background to use source context and to feed in more information or facts about your brand. So it just makes it easier to create new articles for your brand using your own brand voice. And yeah, that's the thing. It's the simplicity of simply uh, adding more factual content out there for your website or for your guest posts and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So I've just got it up now on one of the other screens, and obviously the first name there, you've got the brand name, like the entity name of who you are. So can you then it's got the brand type. So let's say Fat Rank Lead Generation Agency is the brand type, and then you've got the writing style and tonality. Why do you think the writing style and the tonality is important to have in the brand voice feature?
Um, like it just you need to have consistent writing style throughout your blogs in a way, and it just makes it easier. Like if you we have added this option of creating your own brand style, like writing style. So this way you can, if you have some examples of your existing articles that your team has been writing on, you can put in like 5 or 10 different documents or articles, and it will try to mimic that entire writing style, like in one go. And this has worked for like really complex writing styles that Core uses as well. So we have tested it with that. And any simpler writing style that your writers were already using, it would easily be replicated. So we just made it easier for you to have consistent brand voice over all your articles.
Yeah, for sure. And then when I'm looking here in the brand facts, you've got about the brand. Now, I love this section because it allows you to define who you are. And there's so many times that AI hallucinates certain information, like the founder or the founded date, and you're able to put all this factual information. It almost acts as like your brand Bible and like a single source of truth that allows you to make certain that every single time Autoblogging AI is writing content, it's defining the entity in a correct manner. Can you explain why it's important to make certain when you are defining the entity that that information, because of confidence and clarity, how important that is for like the knowledge graph in repeating who you are and what you do?
I think it is very much important because if it's not consistent, it goes haywire. Even AI loses context over the time, and Google might not like inconsistent data about your brand or what you do or what your prices are out there. So, for example, in autoblogging, like my own articles, previously when I used to do articles on autoblogging, it almost entirely got the pricing always wrong. Like it used to hallucinate a lot of stuff, facts about what the plans include, what different features are there, and stuff like that. And it was really, really hard. It added to the manual efforts of going in and editing all the articles. But now we added this feature in which you can simply put in all the facts that your brand has, all the pricing, everything. Like even founders, like James Dooley is an investor in autoblogging. This specific statement needs to be repeated everywhere instead of AI hallucinating it. Okay, James works as a sales guy, something like that. So like if you add consistent information throughout the internet, it will add to your brand authority in a very big way. So
Yeah.
this helps entirely.
So when we're talking about there, like brand authority and trying to improve the entity that's online within, let's say, the knowledge graph, I always say define who you are, define what you do, and define why you are freaking brilliant. That's kind of a saying that I always say: define who you are, define what you do, and define why you are freaking brilliant. So the next part within the brand facts feature is define what you do. And in there, you've got a products and services kind of tab. What should people be making certain they fill in that section about the different services that they offer?
Yeah, all the services and all the features that you have, or what each plan includes, what it covers, and I think the more services that you have, like it will definitely help in um, reaching more potential customers because AI will then use this information to create specific terms in like semantically written content, and it should trigger all those important keywords that AI was not triggering before.
Yeah, and then on there on the brand facts, the next feature down is like contact information. And again, I think that comes back down to within the who you are, what you do, and why you're freaking brilliant. I think that's more the who you are. So you've got the who you are. You're defining exactly who you are. We've moved on to know what you do. And then the last bit now, I love this section, the why you are freaking brilliant. And I think this is the most important part. I've created a concept called the reputation tree. And I think it's really, really, really important. I think this is the most important part of the brand voice feature of explaining why you are brilliant. And within Query Fan Out, there's a reputation arm to things like testimonials, reviews, awards, and case studies. And I think with regards to within the brand facts, you've got unique selling points. Can you explain the importance of understanding to feed the LLMs of why it's important for you to be able to define what your unique selling points are, and also why you are a great brand or entity?
So, like the only difference right now between AI slop and actually verifiable facts or claims is to let AI aware of actual facts or awards or case studies that you have done. And it needs to be consistent in every article. Like, for example, you can't simply say we hit 10,000 subscribers or so on in one article, and another one it's just 4,000 or even 14,000 or 15,000. It needs to be consistent, and that's what differentiates it with AI slop. Like, you can't hallucinate stuff like this. And when you have external sources, like for example, if you won an award from specific site or specific organization or establishment, the name should be consistent too, and it should be verifiable, like it should be present on that specific site as well. So if you have this specific information on all this stuff that you have done or what your brand has done, and it is verifiable by AI as well, like AI overviews, they summarize everything, right? So if they want to verify what your brand has, did it actually win an award or not? And if there is a page out there on different brand, like on an external source which says, okay, you have, so that is like the best thing that can happen for your brand. And to keep it consistent, or to keep it actually verifiable or trustworthy in a way, like these are facts, so they can't be played around with. So that's why we added this specific section inside it.
Yeah, for sure. So within the brand voice feature within Autoblogging.ai, I've mentioned there quite a lot of defining who you are, what you do, and why you're freaking brilliant. But there's also another triplet that everything always seems to come in threes. And that's the more I've started to speak to people like Pavel and Lewis and Corey, everything seems to come in threes. Every framework they have always seems to be in threes for some reason. But the other one is claim, frame, and prove. So everyone can go and put claims out there that they're the best. Everyone can frame it in a specific way that they are the best. But the proof element, like you've just mentioned there about testimonials, about awards, about case studies and stuff like that, it builds up the confidence and the clarity and makes it non-commodity content. So why do you think it's important? You've also added in very recently the competitors, and then being able to explain who your competitor is and explain in your own words why you genuinely feel you are better than that competitor within the brand voice feature. Why do you think that's important, to get that information within prompts that's then going to get Autoblogging to write brilliant content?
Um, um, Sorry, I kind of lost context. Can you please repeat the question?
Yeah, I can repeat it. Yeah, so we've got competitors as a feature being added into the brand voice feature.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Why do you think it's important to add the competitors, but then explain within the brand voice feature of why you are better than that competitor, so that when they are doing any comparisons or they're doing a listicle or they're writing some content, they're understanding in your own words of why you genuinely believe you are better than that competitor?
Okay, if you just refresh the brand's editing page, you will now see the option to add competitor names and also why we are better than that specific competitor. Now this needs to be consistent as well, because if, for example, Journalist AI is a competitor of Autoblogging and it does bulk generation as well. So I would want Autoblogging.ai to compete for that brand for this specific keyword. Like why we are better at bulk generation capabilities when it compares to generalist AI. But then when it comes to SEO optimization, Surfer AI is also a competition. So what we do is kind of better in an automated way when it comes to SEO or SEO optimizations or on-page factors and stuff like that. So if you are able to define why you're better than each competitor, and this information gets repeated in all your articles that you do for external topical maps or even or your money site pages, and this specific keyword or this specific comparison gets repeated on so many external sites or even your site. So this just adds to more consistency when you compare to that specific brand. And why you're better, it's just like I think if you have more sources saying why you're better for that brand, for that specific term, it will get picked up by LLMs like very quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Anyone who's watching this and you're seeing that auto blogging has created a brand voice feature, I'd strongly recommend checking out the link in the description about auto blogging AI competitor analysis. It's a new feature that's also being included that me and Vaibhav talk about quite a lot about being compared against competition. It goes and pulls from the search engine results page all the important information about that competitor, and then you're able to edit and explain why you are better. This is all within the brand voice kind of feature, which then allows you to write the best non-commodity content for listicles and also for comparison pages. This is very important for third-party corroboration with feeding the LLMs like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Grok, Google AI Mode. Strongly recommend checking out the links in the description. We've also got a couple of episodes on how to write listicles the right way and how to write comparison articles in 2026. All this is integrated within the brand voice feature of Autoblogging.ai. Vaibhav, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.